This car has a manual gearbox and most of these are automatic. JR Motor Company, a Porsche specialist in Coventry, are kindly letting me drive this car so I can explain to you exactly what the manual is like. This is a 2012 Porsche 981 Boxster. I currently own a 981 Cayman with a PDK automatic, so I'm interested myself. What is the clutch like? Is it heavy? What is it like round town? What is it like on the motorway, on country roads? What is a rev-matched downshift like? Shall we get started? I will put the stats on screen, but it has a 2.7 flat 6 petrol engine, compression ratio 12.5 to 1. It has 265 horsepower and 280 Newton meters of torque. From 0 to 62, that's going to take 5.8 seconds. And the top speed is 164 miles per hour. I'm in the car now, let's get it started. So there's the clutch. That's really heavy. It's a heavy clutch pedal. So all the way down. To get the clutch all the way down, I can do so without being too close to the gas or the brake. In some cars, I feel that getting the clutch all the way down comfortably puts me too close to the gas and brake, but not in this car. They are well spaced in terms of height. Same height, the brake and the clutch as usual, with the gas being a little bit lower. It's a very heavy pedal. As I push it down, it doesn't get heavier though. There's a little sort of click at the top, but once I'm past that, it's the same weight all the way through. I'm already starting to get used to it just doing it here. It does feel really heavy at first, much more heavy than I'm used to, but it's not something I couldn't get used to. As for the gear shift, there's a very positive spring to the middle. As you can see, it kind of goes doing straight to the middle, much stronger than I'm used to. That actually makes for quite a satisfying gear change. To get reverse, you push it left and there's a bit of a notch and you go through that notch like that. So you push it extra hard past where you'd go to first gear. So you go even more left and then forwards for reverse. There's no pushing down or lifting up. This is BMW style, just hard left through the notch, then forwards. To get first, just go to the notch and then push it forwards. As for going forwards and backwards, there is one notch. There's not like multiple notches I'm going through. It feels nice, it feels slick. The throw, that's the distance forwards and backwards, is a bit shorter than your average car, but not really short. Overall, this is a really nice gear change. This rivals the MX-5, and the MX-5 is renowned for having one of the best gear shifts there is. I don't feel shortchanged using that one. That is good. For heel and toe, the brake and the gas are quite close together, and as the gas pedal is so long, it's hard to miss it. I can press the brake and pivot onto the gas very easily without moving the brake. I have to tell when I'm on the move, because it's hard to actually tell until you get moving whether or not I'm going to be adjusting that brake as I'm trying to press the gas, but at the moment, feels easy enough. Engine sounds good. The clutch bite point is about halfway up, smooth and obvious, and the gas is very easy to modulate. The parking brake is beeping at me because the parking brake won't automatically release with the seat belt off. I'll put my seat belt on. When I get to the clutch bite point, the parking brake will automatically disengage so I can go. If you want to disengage the parking brake manually, you put your foot on the brake and you pull this lever down here towards you. To turn the parking brake on, you push it away from you, which of course is the wrong way round for a parking brake, electronic or not. So I think it's time I got going into first gear. That is such a nice throw, nice positive movement through the notch. Bit of gas, no one's coming. To the bite point, it moves away. Very smooth, no juddering from the clutch pedal. And clutch down and give way. Quite heavy. I'm still getting used to how heavy it is, but I am strong enough to handle it. Let's get going. Into second. Oh, that feels quite natural. Yeah, right away I know how to drive this. It's a manual gearbox, which is intuitive. This is nice to use, and the clutch bite point is easy to find. The pedal is smooth, just a bit heavy. I'm starting in an urban area because that's where I've picked up the car, but I will go to a country road soon. But I like to get used to the manual transmission whilst going slowly. Now the clutch pedal it is the same weight all the way through, and that can be a bad thing because quite often car manufacturers engineer the clutch pedal to change its weight when you're near the bite point, so you get to feel where the clutch bite point is. This is the same weight all the way through, but despite that, it's still quite easy to find the bite point because you can really feel it in the car. Setting off is easy. A lot of that's to do with the gas. The gas pedal is very easy to control. The revs don't just blip up when you press it a little bit. They rise gently if you want them to. If you want them to rise quickly, they will. I mean, I'm in third gear at the moment, 30 miles an hour. Let's try a rev matched downshift into second. Yeah, I haven't done that too many times in this car, yet I'm already getting it. And at low speeds, usually rev matching is harder at low speeds. So the speed limit here is 40, I believe. I'm not 100% sure actually. So I'm doing 30, oh there it is 40. Let's go a little bit faster. And I'll brake and downshift from fourth into second. Oh yes. You can rev match downshift whilst using the brake in this car very easily. That's the first time I've ever done that in this car, yet I didn't even have to think and it was smooth. I honestly don't have a clue where I am. I'm solely relying on the sat nav. I do not know Coventry. I am heading towards some country roads or some roads that have been recommended to me. In many ways, this setup is very similar to my MX-5. The clutch pedal is a bit longer, the travel's a bit longer, and it's a lot heavier. But actually, I think rev matching at low speeds in this car is easier than the MX-5. I'm sure about that. At low speeds it is. The revs in the MX-5 just want to drop too hard, so when you try and catch the revs with the clutch, you get too much engine braking, it slows you down. With this, you can bring the clutch up to the bite point and you don't slow down as much, so you can come all the way off it without having to hold it for very long, so you can actually do a proper quick downshift rev match at low speeds. Maybe I should set this trip computer so I can see what kind of economy I'm getting around town. There we go, reset it. Not been driving long, probably a couple of miles, and I'm already feeling at home in this car. Having said that, I did nearly forget the downshift there. I thought I had a PDK for a moment, but no, I've got to do it now. Where on earth do I go here? This sat nav is a bit old school, and this is an awkward junction, merging and leaving at the same time with not much room. How could that go wrong? I tried to use this sat nav system to get out of Coventry when I drove my car home, and yeah, I just ended up going around in circles and the same thing is happening again. It's just too small. It's this big orange line on these tiny little roads. I don't know which road I need to take. Welcome to my 1,000,000 point turn as I navigate my way around Coventry. This car has heavy steering. Now, there is a way around that, but that's not what I want to talk about right now. I want to talk about the fact that I forgot this car had a heavy clutch until I just remembered. I seem to forget when cars have heavy clutches. I get used to them and adapt, but steering just bugs me. Why is that? I don't know. I can get used to heavy clutches, but not heavy steering. And if you want this steering to be lighter, you can enable Power Steering Plus. Research it online, you will find the way to do it. I did it on my car using a Think Diag. Once I had that Think Diag dongle, it was literally like a couple of minutes, and the steering's so much lighter now at low speeds. I think the suspension in this entry-level Boxster is softer than the PASM. Nope, this doesn't have PASM. It is softer than the PASM, the adaptive suspension on my Cayman. And I do prefer this suspension. This is nicer driving around town at the moment. We'll see what it's like on the country road, but this feels more comfortable. And I'm not sure if there's going to be a disadvantage to it, not at least for road driving. I'm doing 26 miles an hour and I'm enjoying myself. That's what a manual gearbox can do. What I'm really liking is how springy the gear stick is. I know exactly where I am. Even a little downshift rev match there towards the traffic. Yeah, you know exactly where it is. Really positive. I'm in neutral. I'm in first. You cannot mistake your gear in this car. I think a money shift is highly unlikely. So I've been doing a little bit of traffic and I'm not finding it tiring yet, but I am quite a resilient manual driver. I use neutral a lot. I don't hold the clutch down for long periods of time. If I'm waiting, I'm in neutral and I'm off the clutch, unless I'm at the front of the queue like now and about to go. Yes! That was a nice start. No bogging down, not too many revs. Crisp. If you're interested, at 30 miles an hour, fourth gear is about 1,600 revs, and it's telling me to go up to fifth gear. And if I put it into fifth gear at 30 miles an hour, it's actually, you're right, it doesn't struggle, and if I put my foot on the gas, it does go. It's not fast, but it's not struggling at all. If I can get up to 30 miles an hour again, I'll try it. So third gear at 30 is about 2,000 revs, fourth gear is just under 1,600, fifth gear is just over 1,200. I'm 29 miles an hour in fifth gear. It accelerates. It's not going fast, but the engine isn't moaning, it's not labouring, it just plods along happily. And it's the gear the computer's asking for as well. I do have a video on my other channel all about gear shift indicators. I can't link to it because it's on another channel, but you shouldn't necessarily follow those. But in this car, at those revs, it doesn't feel like you're doing any harm being in fifth gear at 30 miles an hour. So I think I've managed to find somewhere a bit more in the sticks. That is a wonderful gear shift. Braking down to second. I'm doing 43 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. Just adds to the driving experience, and that sound from the engine. It's not much power, but it's plenty enough. There is plenty enough power, in my opinion, from this 2.7 litre engine. It's only a 50 mile an hour limit here, so I'm only going up to 50. I hope to find a road where I have a little bit more freedom soon. So I'm in second gear at 20 miles an hour. I'm now in first. There's 7,800 revs at 45 miles an hour. So first gear goes all the way up to 45 miles an hour in this car. Quite fast. Can you hear that? And the suspension on this entry-level 981 Boxster is supple. It deals with these roads with finesse. Keeps the tyre planted into the road, even when I go over a bump, giving me confidence. Braking, second, gas. Nice little straight. No one behind. Let's stop and see how easy it is to launch this car. First gear, looks clear. Let's go. Nailed it. That is so satisfying. I'm at 50. Oh, I have a bit more left. I'm used to my car, which is quite a bit faster, and I have to come off the gas so much sooner. But like this, I get to enjoy full throttle and that glorious sound for a bit longer. Okay, so I'm doing 60 miles an hour down into second, and that is just under 6,000 revs, and I believe it redlines at 7,800. So I think this car will be doing about 80 miles an hour in the top of second gear. Bit of a shame. If the gears were shorter, I think this car would be more enjoyable. It's all around again, and earlier I said I nailed the launch. Maybe I could get it a bit better. What's the harm in trying? No, that wasn't as good. And there's 60. In third, down into second. Oh yes, 50, 60. And in third at 60 miles an hour, it's about 4 grand on the tack. So 30 miles an hour, third gear, floor it. 37, 43, 50, 60, or 50, 58. Close enough. And give way sign. Now which way do I go? So at 40 miles an hour in 6th gear, 1,600 revs. And I've been driving it around the country roads, thoroughly enjoying myself. And I've got 20.7 miles per gallon. It was down to about 17. I've just been cruising for a little bit. So expect closer to about 17 on country roads if you're giving it some. Cruising at 50 miles an hour in 6th gear is just a whisker under 2,000 revs, and the engine is quiet. Mostly what I can hear is road noise. I actually quite enjoy this changing up early. Well, you have to anyway, because you go too fast in each gear, but changing up early just means I get to change gear more often and spend more time full throttle listening to that glorious sound. There's no one behind me. There is someone really far away. Right, now I'll go. That sound, smooth, progressive, harder. It's very much like the engine in the MX-5, how it progressively builds as you go up the revs. It's what I love about these engines, the engine in the MX-5 and the engine in the 981s. This one is very much like the engine in my Cayman GTS, just less pull. Doesn't go up the revs as quick, but it kind of does it in the same way. And I really do enjoy driving this car. I've finally found somewhere where I can get up to 70 miles an hour, and in 6th gear I'm at 2,800 revs at 70 miles an hour. With the PDK, that's actually just below 2,000 revs. But I can't hear the engine. It's not under load, it's not louder, but I do think I'm going to use more fuel. I'm in 6th gear doing 60 miles an hour. Let's try and knock it down into 2nd. That sounds epic. So I'm in 6th gear, I'll go down to 60 miles an hour and accelerate. So 62, 65, and there's 70 in 6th gear. So it still pulls fairly well in top gear, slightly uphill at 60 miles an hour. There's no need to change down a gear to accelerate at these motorway speeds. I know this is the lower powered version of the Boxster, but 260 horsepower and 280 Newton meters of torque. Although that's not a lot of power for a Porsche, that's a lot of power for a car and a lot of power for the road. Let's see how many revs it is pulling at 70 miles an hour. So this is 60, pop it down into 2nd, and there's 70, just under 7,000 revs. So yeah, you're going to be about 80 miles an hour in 2nd gear. So you can't get all the revs in 2nd gear legally on the public road, or at least in England. There is something I don't like about this gear stick though, and that is, and I don't like this about any gear stick that does this, reverse, no pushing down, no lifting up, you just push it left hard. The trouble is, when I pop it down into 2nd, or shall I say, shove it down into 2nd really fast, I end up going too far left. I tend to do that with BMWs and Minis, and this has a similar system because I end up doing that. That's too far, that's reverse, and it won't go back. So I have to kind of remember not to just go all the way to the left, but to limit how hard I push it left, which I think I could get used to with practice, but I've never actually no, the MR2, that used to be like that. I did get used to that, so I know I can get used to it, but I do prefer pushing down. It's just more positive, you know exactly where you are. This is brilliant. What a difference a manual gearbox can make to the driving experience, especially on the public road where you can only go so fast. I'm more involved in the driving experience. I have 3 pedals instead of just the gas and the brake. If I want to get a quick start, I've got to balance the gas and the clutch just right to get that launch. It's a challenge, and I find it fun. I'm going to bring the MX-5 into this though, because the MX-5 is renowned for having one of the best gear shift feels in the world. I don't know if it is, I haven't tried all cars, but it's certainly the best gear shift feel I've ever experienced. This is close, that's a good thing, but it's not quite there. There's 3 reasons. One is the clutch is heavy. It's not heavy in the MX-5, that is better. 2 is the feeling I get when I push it into gear. This is good, this is slick, it's mechanical, but it's more slick in the MX-5. It feels more direct, it feels more rounded, it feels of higher quality. And the 3rd reason is the fact that in the MX-5 you have to push it down to move it far enough left to get reverse. In this you just push it left hard, and I don't like that because, as I've experienced in this car, sometimes I do it by accident and I can't get second gear. I don't tend to do it for first, because for first I'm never that hard, but when I'm going into second at high speed I tend to do it a bit hard and I push it over a bit too firmly, then I can't get second. Something I could get used to, but I don't have to get used to that in the MX-5 because it has that system where you have to push it down to get reverse, not just judge how hard to push it. It's more easy to use. Putting the MX-5 to one side though, this is one of the best manual gearboxes I've ever experienced, especially combined with the sound of that flat 6 engine. It's a car I would happily drive when I have nowhere to go. I'm not saying the manual is better than PDK. What I am saying is that there is more to enjoy. So why is it I have an automatic Porsche when I'm waxing lyrical about this manual transmission? Well, the truth is I didn't choose automatic, I didn't choose the PDK, I was just willing to give it a go. There is a difference. I've never owned a sports car with a dual clutch transmission, and I don't mind finding out what it's like. And most of the 981s, well, they are PDK, so it's much easier to find a good one with a PDK than a manual, especially with the options that I had to have. Limited slip differential, not many cars have that. Climate control, easier to find, and cruise control. Not a big deal because I can retrofit it. I looked at various cars. One car I really liked, but I didn't trust the dealer, so I didn't buy it. I'm spending a lot of money on an old car. I need to trust the dealer. Ian at JR Motor Company was selling the car I bought. It had all the equipment I wanted and then some, and it was cheaper because it had higher mileage, yet it was the best condition one I had found. Made sense to buy it, and the dealer gave me confidence. So I was quite happy buying it from him. If I was to spec my own 981 from new, I would probably go with the 2.7. If it works on track, I know the GTS has better cooling, so if that's needed, I'd go for a GTS. But if the 2.7 works on track without overheating, I'd be happy with this performance, more than happy. Manual transmission and all of the equipment, not the coloured vents and the contrast stitching and leather everywhere. I'm not bothered about that, I'm bothered about equipment. That's what I want, in white. But I'm buying used, so it's a compromise. It's about finding a car that's in good condition with enough of the equipment that I want. And that's the car I bought. And I am thoroughly enjoying it. I just think there is a bit more enjoyment to be had from this manual transmission. I've just spoken to Ian at JR Motor Company, and he tells me when he picked this car up, the clutch was actually way heavier than it is now. There's a common issue with the bushes, and this car has just had that work done to sort it, yet it's still heavy. And he says they are heavy even when they're working properly, but when you get that problem with the bushes, they get really heavy. So if you have a 981 manual with a super heavy clutch, you may want to look into those bushes because it may make it quite a bit lighter, although it's still heavier than your typical car. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.